Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and I have been investigating this SBL December 22 examiner report, and today is the fifth discussion on this examiner report of SBL. The fifth discussion is very important as we try to look into reasons for failure, which has been critically examined by the examining team in the December 22 examiner report. So let's investigate what the examining team has to tell us in terms of reasons for failure in SPL. According to the examiner, in most cases, those candidates who failed this exam did so because of. Now, let's see what are reasons why students fail SBL. Number one, lack of development of the point made. That is, not fully explaining why the point was relevant to the given organization in the case study, or why it was important in the context of the task requirement. So if your point is not fully explained, or again, the point is not connected to the organization, or the point is not connected to the perspective of the requirement, you are not developing the point well. So you need to explain the point in a reasonable length, but that reasonable length does not mean that you keep elaborating your answer, but it's not connected with the case study, or it's not connected with the organization, or it's not connected with the requirements. That alone elaboration is not useful. An elaborated answer is only useful if it gets connected with the organization and requirement. And a well-developed point in SPL is like 3 to 4 sentences long. So that is a well-developed point. But you write 3 to 4 sentences, but they are more generic sentences. There are no connection with the exhibit. There is no connection with the organization. There is no connection with the background of the organization or with the requirement. Then those 3 to 4 sentences are useless. So the first reason why students fail is a lack of development of the points made. Number two, lack of analysis skill, demonstrated through an inability to select and then appropriately use relevant information to an answer task require. Analysis, analyzing something, evaluating something. So if you are not absorbing the case, you're not absorbing the case with the task requirement, you're not selecting the information in a more appropriate manner, because there is load and load and load of information given in the case study. Selecting the one relevant for your requirement for a particular task, that is very important. Shortlisting the most important information for the relevant task out of the range of information you have in the case study, and then utilizing that and then analyzing that to write a good answer. Number three, failure to provide what the requirement specified, not understanding the requirement, or understanding the requirement the way you want to understand it, not the way the examiner wants you to understand it. So a lot of time you read a requirement in a rush, or you overlook the requirement, or you overlook a certain part of the requirement. So try to understand the requirement in a perspective the examining team would like you to understand it, rather than trying to understand the requirement the way you like to understand it and putting in a wrong answer. So reading of the requirement and understanding of the requirement is a critical part of your reading and planning time, and you should carefully read and plan the requirement. Then only you can get the best answer out of your case study. Lack of understanding of what was strategically significant for QH. This is the December paper. So what was strategically significant for QH? So if a question is asking, explain why something is strategically significant for QH, then you have to explain that why in the context of the organization given in the case study, or why for QH something is strategically significant in the context of the case, or in the context of their decisions. If they're taking a decision, then why that decision is strategically significant for QH. So defining that strategic significance in the context of the case, moving around the information. So again, that's the bottom line again and again is coming to the case connectivity. So lack of development of the point, lack of analysis skill, not analyzing things very well, or not analyzing the information very well from the case study, which should then be put into the answer, failure to provide what the requirement specified, or lack of understanding of why something was strategically important for QH in the context of the particular exam we're discussing here. Lack of commercial acumen, sound business decisions, sound business knowledge, why something is important for the business, or why something is disadvantageous for the business, or why something is important for the business, commercial acumen, know-how of the business, having a command on the business in the case study. If you are saying, if you're saying what are benefits of a cloud technology, for example, to QH, and there is a commercial acumen, then you have to connect those benefits realistically to QH rather than writing the journal benefits. And you try to understand that why for QH, cloud technology can be a breakthrough, what benefits QH will get rather than writing the journal benefits of cloud technology. So it's to connect things with the business perspective, knowing why something is advantageous to your business or why something is disadvantageous to your business, looking at the pros and cons, looking at the advantages and disadvantages, looking at the challenges, looking at the benefits of something to your business. So that's where acumen comes in. Acumen means a sound business understanding. That's where you can take you can exercise sound decisions around the requirement given in the exam paper. Poor level of technical knowledge, obvious. If a question is asking something on integrated reporting, or the question is asking something on cultural web, or the question is asking something about the use of mobile technology, or the question is asking something around the principles of e-marketing, you should know the topic. These are topics of SBL, but it's not like producing the top knowledge of the topic in the exam. It's to know the knowledge and then to blend that knowledge. Is to adapt that knowledge according to the case situation. But if you don't know knowledge, you will not understand the requirement and you will not understand what to do. So knowledge will help you initially picking up the layout or some sort of an outline of the answer. At least you can recall the benefits, or you can recall the 6 capitals of integrated reporting, and then you can go down searching them in the case study or trying to blend those capitals with the case requirement. So that way, knowledge is useful because it is the application of the knowledge in SBL which counts. It's not alone the knowledge. So alone knowledge is useless. Wasting time making irrelevant point. We even discussed that previously when we were discussing the time management in SBL, that writing irrelevant answers, writing something which does not make sense, writing something which is out of the case study, or writing something which is generic or which has no connection with the organization given in the case study. So wasting time on irrelevant point, just padding up your answer and just trying to impress the examiner that I wrote a very long answer, but of no use. So these are 7 reasons examining team is giving us why they believe the student are failing the SBL paper. Just a quick recap: a lack of point development, a lack of analysis skill, failure to provide what the requirement is asking for, lack of understanding why something is strategically important for the given organization, lack of commercial acumen, poor technical knowledge, and wasting time making irrelevant points. Try to ensure you overcome them before your next upcoming exam papers for SBL. The last paragraph. It was once again disappointing to see candidates failing to read the task requirement carefully enough. In all my webinars, in all my interactions, I do publicly, and for my paid students, I do emphasize on reading the task. I do demonstrate that in my classes as well, reading the task. It is so critical. If you know the task and you have a grip on the task, then reading the exhibit becomes more enjoyable. You can easily relate things to the exhibit and you can bring the best information from the exhibit into your answer. Otherwise, not. Resulting in them not answering the question that has been asked for, or not answering the whole requirement. So that is the problem. That is what the examining team was discussing in the point number 3. And they're just emphasizing on that point number 3 below, that it was disappointing to see students not reading, not understanding the requirement, or understanding half of it and overlooking the other half. So in that way, you're writing a poor answer. This demonstrates poor examination technique and lack of professionalism, which then impact on professional skills being rewarded. If you're not understanding the requirement, it's demonstrating lack of professionalism. And if you're not understanding the requirement, honestly, you're not writing a good answer, which limits the professional marks being rewarded by the examining team. So please ensure you try to overcome the reasons of failure, and each reason of failure is converted to success by overcoming it. So try to do your best, and I hope this will give you some better understanding of how you can be better prepared for the upcoming exams. Your tutor Kashif Kamran signing off from the 5th discussion around the SBL examiner report, reasons of failure. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.